my
You ready?
God, your poor dad.
Yes. Okay, welcome back to Your Poor Dad. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. I'm Paige. I'm the middle sister.
I'm Jade. I'm the oldest sister.
I'm Bailey. I'm the youngest.
And we have a special guest.
Fourth sister in the house.
Woo, fourth sister. We have Andrew Tarr. He is a local Austin comedian. I've seen him. I think he's really funny.
Thank
Jade,
you.
Have you seen him?
I'm a huge fan of his work
What's
on
your
Instagram.
What's your favorite joke?
I like the Zodiac joke.
Nice.
Wait, there was another one that never mind.
Welcome.
I was just trying to put you on the spot.
Thank you.
Big fan.
Really happy that you could join us today. It was a super random ask that I even asked you to be on the podcast, but you know what? We are Austin girlies. We want to get involved with more people in Austin, more companies in Austin. So I thought, hey, that guy was funny. That guy was cool. Let's see if he wants to get on the podcast.
Let's have a fellow Austin girly on the podcast.
The fourth Brant sister.
Yeah. So now you are, all of our guests are the fourth Brant sister.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what we want. Our audience is the fourth Brant sister as well. We're all sisters here.
Okay.
Yeah, because basically it's like there's no one like a sister that can be there for you and also judge you and tell you what you need to hear all at the same time. You know?
No one can build you up and no one can tear you down like
Exactly.
Exactly. We all know that. Speaking of that, Paige and I still have not gotten in a fight in like weeks.
Honestly,
It's probably almost a month at this point.
Oh my God.
Ever since the podcast started doing well, Paige and I got along. So once this shit starts to tank, we'll
be fighting again.
We'll be fighting again. Yeah. That's when it's going to be like not good.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You just met us. So who do you think between the three sisters is like the fighter? Like who's going to like kick everyone's ass?
If someone were to be described as an obnoxious bull, who do you think it would be?
I mean, typically the oldest sibling is the bully
Oh.
because growing up you're generally bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad guess.
I would say the middle sister in this
It's me.
situation is
Paige?
the
It's
me.
obnoxious bull of the family.
It's funny because like Jade works out, like lifts weights like every day. Like she's strong, right?
You can't
Yeah.
Like she could look, I'm not going to say we do this on camera, but like she could probably like beat you in an arm wrestling competition, but like I could still kick her ass any day of the week.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Goes down. And why are we the family that knows that?
Yeah.
Like no other girl family is like, yeah, we're going to see who wrestle right now.
Wrestle for it.
Yeah.
So you're stronger, but just out of pure enthusiasm, she wins.
Yeah.
Just out of spirit.
You know, like when a mother like gets the strength to
Yeah, like
lift
the
a car.
adrenaline is like
Yeah.
That's like Paige, but just like in the strength of like years of being the middle child built up.
yeah, I have to get my attention somehow.
Through violence.
Yeah,
Seriously.
through violence, obviously. We can't do it healthy.
Yeah. Well, Jade, what's your update this week?
I actually was on a bender this week, and so I have no real memories of it, but my best friend from college was in town. We just had like a little weekend, and then I woke up Sunday and I like never really get anxiety, thankfully. I know that's a blessing, and I woke up and I was like, I need to reset my life. So we've reset. We're zen.
I live in anxiety. I am the most anxious and stressed out person ever.
I know.
You never have anxiety?
I mean, I do get anxiety, but like normal anxiety. I don't live with like chronic anxiety.
like you don't have like hangover anxiety, like the hangxiety?
Not that often, because I just know it's like not
get
that big of a deal.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't do things that are like anxiety worthy mostly.
Or you just forget them and you're comfortable in forgetting them.
No,
You're
that's
like,
what it is.
That
'cause
wasn't me.
I told you guys I'm delusional. So like I live in a land of delusion. I'm like, everything I did was fine. I don't care.
Great. All right, Paige, what's your update?
Not much of an update. I went to a Canadian tuxedo birthday party this weekend, and I made a hat, and it was the star of the show. And completely blacked out. It was an early day. I don't remember a lot of the night, of the afternoon, but you know what? I think it was a great time. And unlike you, I had anxiety the entire
I called
Sunday.
you on Sunday and I was like, this bitch has anxiety. I gotta let her go.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I don't really remember what happened. And when that happens, like, I know that I'm either like dancing or like saying things or like what I'm doing something that it's like I'm making a fool of myself, and we just have to let her be. Let her be happy.
Let her be
Let her
happy.
do. I don't
She
need
had
to
a great
think.
day.
I don't need to think about it. And honestly, none
don't
of
need
my
to think about
friends, all of my friends are good enough friends that no one was like, do you know what you did?
You know
last
who
night?"
does do that? You and mom.
True.
Okay, relax.
Mom
on both
always
counts.
mom always says, you know what she did last night? And it's like, no.
Well, then you know what? Maybe I should call mom and tell her what she did on Sunday, okay?
Oh wait, that should
Okay, no, we're not doing that to mom.
We're not doing
Okay.
that to our poor mom.
Okay. Tarr, do you have an update?
Dad.
Tarr.
Just something notable that happened in your week.
Yeah, I did some shows at the Hyenas Comedy Club up in Dallas.
Ooh, D-Town.
They were fun. The Saturday Late Show was the best. We went to a restaurant on Mother's Day, and we had all the food. And it was just like me and like 3 other dudes. And we just asked for silverware and napkins. And when the server brought it over, he said, "Happy motherfucking Mother's Day," and dropped off the silverware. And then said, "I want to murder some moms." Yeah.
Wait, what restaurant were you at? Should we shout it out?
The All Good Cafe in Deep Ellum in Dallas.
Hell yeah.
I want to murder someone.
And then he said, "My mom is dead." And like I had just scooped some salsa with a chip and I had to sit there still to like prevent myself from just laughing out loud in his face. It's the hardest I've laughed in a while. Like I would pay for that security camera footage just to see my face when the server is just dropping off silverware. It says, "Happy motherfucking Mother's Day."
Oh my
That is-
God.
That's a bold joke to make.
I love that.
You love that?
That reminds me of that date that I went on, and the guy's like, as soon as we sit down, he's like, "Are your parents together?" I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Are yours?
First sat down?
Well, yeah, and then I was like, "Are yours?" And he's like, "No, my dad died." Okay. Why?
What is the point of saying?
Like, why did you lead with that? I don't know.
That's how he segues into
It's
telling
like
people.
the same thing. It's like, my mom's dead.
But like, why would you want to bring that? Like, I accidentally step on emotional landmines in a date all the time. I'll ask an innocent question, and it has like a really dark.
You're like,
Like, what's
shit.
one of them?
Just like why somebody stopped drinking. I'm like,
Ooh, that's
I was like, oh, like maybe they're just trying to lose weight, or. But it's always really dark, and then, like the manager at this one job I worked at, he had scars like on the back of his head, and like my brother has a lot of scars on his head, and they're all from just being an idiot as a child and falling. So I was like, oh, what are those? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm embarrassed about my past. And I'm like, oh shit! Like these are like from fights or something.
You're like,
These are
okay.
attempted murder scars. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
There's
ju-
our AMS.
Just out of naivety, like just out of being curious, I'll end up like accidentally prodding into really deep territory. And I don't
I
know
feel
that. I'm
that.
doing
I hate that.
It happens.
That's my nightmare.
That was good. Bailey, what about you?
Well, my update is about our poor mom.
Oh.
She called me when she was listening to last week's podcast.
Are you the favorite this week?
I mean, I'm the favorite most of the weeks.
I think you're the favorite.
I'm overall the
Okay,
favorite.
you're not wrong. She is.
But she called me and she was like, about that story. Last week I told a story about bringing the 17 magazine to a sleepover.
When she was like 9.
And it talked about fingering in a
Yeah.
hot tub.
And
At 9.
No, they
Well,
were
so
9 reading.
I was
it.
9 reading a
Yeah,
story from
she
17
thought it
magazine.
was cool to bring her older sister's like 17 magazine to a sleepover.
Okay.
And then one of the articles was about like someone getting fingered in a hot tub.
Oh, okay.
So this
is a way
mom-
different story than what.
yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know if I want to talk about 9-year-olds.
You're like, I have to go.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
No, but this mom like made copies, sent it out to like all the other parents that were like at the sleepover because it was like, this is very bad. Like they shouldn't be talking about this. This is inappropriate.
Yeah.
and what our poor mom, because I was like, okay, my takeaway was that it was like, okay, this was like a weird, shameful thing that I did. Like, I shouldn't have like brought this. I shouldn't have done this. And mom was like, I wasn't even mad. It was that this other mom came and picked her up from our house, and she was like, I really need to talk to you. And so
But she wouldn't
like,
come inside the house.
She wouldn't come inside the house. This other mom picked our mom up and drove to the park by our house to have this very serious conversation about how inappropriate this magazine that I brought was, and like how
Why wouldn't she come in the house?
Because she didn't want to be in a house with sinners.
Oh,
Why would
honey,
she
I
come
got
to our
it.
sinful house?
We have 17 magazines.
Who knows what else is in there? But I was like, oh my God, that must have been like traumatic for a mom, like being picked up and like brought away. That's weird.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do?
I would not have gotten. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, I would not have gotten in the car. I would be like, fuck you.
I'd just
Don't
be like,
talk
She
to me
didn't
about-
even know. I didn't
Yeah.
tell mom that I left this magazine
Oh.
with this girl. I was like, oh, hopefully that's the end of that.
What did the girl say? Do you want to go for a drive?
She was like,
Let's
Sandy, I think it's important you get in this car right now.
I think you need to know what
You are
your
in the
daughter's
midst
reading.
of a sinner.
There was a girl that wrote in last week.
Yeah.
And she, first of all, her boyfriend was like, I want a blowjob. And she's like, doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know what a blowjob is. So she's like, yeah. Okay, cool. And he said, put your mouth on it.
So what does she do?
So she put her mouth on it.
Puts her mouth on
and
it.
just stayed there for 3 minutes. And I said, fuck that guy. 3 minutes? You're just staying there? Are you kidding me?
So funny.
Have you ever had an experience like that?
Yeah, where I realized, okay, I have more experience in this situation. Well, which is like odd for me. I was like a late bloomer, so I just like assumed.
I was
like,
gonna
every
say,
girl would do it.
or the other way. Like if you've been in the situation where you're like, where you were the girl there and you were just like doing something completely wrong, or
Like you were caressing a crevasse instead of
yeah,
you know.
you're like rubbing some girl's like thigh when you think it's like her vagina or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or you know, flip side, like you've been the experience when you're like, oh, I should probably say something.
Well, I was with a girl who like didn't like foreplay. She just like straight dick. She just thought like fingering and like eating out was like just men overcompensating.
What?
Cut to the chase.
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was like 24, 25 at the time.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. So it's like, well, first of all, let me overcompensate.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Trust me, you need this. You're gonna need this.
Trust me. And when I realized I had more experiences, that I was like you gotta like let me finger you, like get you wet. You can't just be putting the shit in dry. It hurts. I'm getting friction burns. I'm going to play a parrot, and they're like, it just looks chafed. And I was like, let me do this, and then I start fingering her, and she goes, Andrew, that's the problem.
Oh no.
You're scooping out all the moisture. And I was like, what?
Oh.
I was like, what do you think? I'm just like scooping and go, God, gross.
Lick it off.
So just like wiping my hands like every time before putting it back in there. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take charge of the situation here, because that's
You're like, I'm not scooping it out
yeah.
and putting it
And
anywhere.
it's also like it regurgitates
Yeah, like,
itself.
you're
Yeah.
I need that for later.
You're not gonna lose anything. It's like a what do we call it? A fountain. It's gonna keep coming out.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I gotta like take charge of the situation, because clearly she says she has more experience than she actually does, so we both don't know what we're doing. And like again, I might not be like the best at fingering, but I'm not scooping out the moisture. Like I'm not that bad at it.
Scooping out.
Girls aren't getting drier when when I'm.
How many times did you guys hook up?
We dated for like 3 months over the pandemic.
3 years. That's what I was expecting.
Oh.
We dated for 3
No.
years.
Wait,
no.
this is fairly recent.
Yeah. This was 2 years ago.
See, in my mind, I was like, oh, this was back in 1995.
Oh no! I was a late bloomer, so like pretty late.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, let's
Wow.
get into it.
Sounds good.
Do you want me to pull out my cards?
Pull out your note cards.
I don't know where to start. You know what? Actually,
I
this
want to
is
know how many siblings do you have?
3.
whoa.
Three. What's the birth order here?
I have
What are
one
you?
older brother and then 2 younger sisters.
Oh, okay. 2 and 2.
So you're a middle child.
Yeah.
Nice. We love to see it.
We love a middle child.
Yeah.
Always overcompensating for the rest of the siblings.
My last sister was an accident.
Oh.
Me too.
So is Bailey.
The middle's an accident, but not the other two?
No, I think the middle is always the planned one.
Yeah, I was the planned one. She's the youngest. She was the biggest surprise.
I was the devastation.
Our dad, my mom came out while my dad was mowing the lawn, and she showed him the pregnancy test, and he said he fell to his knees.
He was just like, shit. We're doing this again. And then when she was
like,
born,
okay, at least maybe it's going to be a boy.
he like argued with the doctor. He's like, is that the penis? And they were like, no, that's the umbilical cord.
He's like, no, I think no. Look again.
that better
no.
be a 12-inch dick that I see right there. Umbilical cords are huge.
Switch that baby in the nursery. Make that be a penis. No,
No.
I'm here.
She had a
He couldn't be
vagina.
happier.
All right, let's get into dating because I think you have some funny stories. You mentioned that you were a late bloomer,
Yeah.
and we just had our last episode. We were talking about losing our virginity.
Yeah.
And I said I was a late bloomer, but I was like 19.
Yeah.
I was 18. How old were you?
I was 24.
Okay.
Oh, that is late.
When did you get your
Yeah.
first kiss? 24.
Also 24. Labor Day
Really?
2018.
First kiss?
Yeah.
Labor Day, your anniversary. Oh, wait, no, this Memorial Day. Sorry.
Yeah, so Labor Day, and then I lost my virginity on 9/11. It's like 8 days later. So it's really easy to remember.
Wait, why did you choose 9/11?
I didn't
having a lot of
choose
feelings.
9/11.
Because it's
9/11
never
chose
forget.
him.
Oh no! Well, I will never forget. But it was like midnight, and then like I checked my phone, and I was like, "Oh shit! I just lost my virginity on 9/11." And then I got booked for my first road gig ever, and I was like, "This is the best 9/11 anybody's ever had."
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, I mean, what gave you the courage to get your first kiss and have sex like the same week? like what finally happened to you? Where you're like, I'm gonna do this.
Well, it was this coworker, and it was her idea basically.
Okay.
She like made all the moves
so
and stuff.
Were you holding on to the virginity for any reason?
I mean, it would be less embarrassing if I said yes. But
It's
the
not
answer's
embarrassing.
no.
I don't want you to feel embarrassed.
No,
at all.
no.
We're a judgment-free zone,
I mean, we'll judge you,
You're
but
the
like
fourth
with,
sister.
but not.
but with love.
Yeah, we'll judge you with love.
No, I was just like an awkward kid growing up with this girl at work I was talking to you about. She thought I was like a pushover at first, and then there was like a show that she said that she was going to go to that happened like at 9:30 p.m. And then she was like, "Oh, like I lost track of time. I couldn't make it." And I was like, "Okay, it's 9:30 p.m. Even if you lost track of time, you would have noticed the sun going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have noticed some shit
Well,
like
like,
that."
and if you have plans, like you have plans.
Yeah. So I was like, you just didn't want to go. And
Yeah.
like I said that to her, and I was like, she was like, you just said that to me? And I was like, yeah, when people really want to do things, they do them. And then when I did that,
She was like, "Ooh."
yeah.
She was like, "Hey, let's kiss and then have sex."
yeah.
So how does the dating scene differ from Austin to San Diego?
Because Tarr's from San Diego.
Oh yes, Tarr is originally from
and
San
if
Diego.
you haven't picked up on it, our nickname for him is Tarr. Because it's 2 R's.
Yeah.
Tarr.
I mean, when I was in San Diego, I was like in school the whole time,
Yeah.
and I was doing comedy, so I was like double broke.
So you're
Okay.
kind of now able to like spread your wings.
Yeah. Now I'm like able to like go out and do shit.
Are you on dating apps?
I was with like texting, like I read shit face value. I just like for texting, like it's just as like information.
Have you ever heard of the app Zate?
Zate?
Zate.
No.
It's a new Austin-based dating app. It's really cool because you actually like match on activities. So you'd be
Yeah.
like, I would be like, hey, I'm looking for someone to go on a Zate to a comedy show like on
Yeah.
Friday. And then someone else who like wants to go to a comedy show, like they can connect. So you should check it out. On one aspect, like on one hand, it like does a lot. It does a lot for me because it's like I went to a date one time and the guy was like, have you been to Radio? Radio's like a coffee and beer place.
Okay.
And I'm ordering first. I like get a beer. Clearly, I'm a beer girl.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm getting a cold brew. I don't drink. And I was like, well, I wish I
Great.
would have known that before I went on this date. You know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you should check out Zate.
Yeah, we love Zate. My Zate, so you can name the Zate names.
Oh yeah, that you're get
So
clever with it.
have you ever seen the coffee shop Better Half?
No.
But my Zate name is looking for my better half at Better Half.
Do you
Isn't that
remember
good?
when your first Zate name was gonna be? It was for
Oyster? I hardly know her.
Oyster, I hardly know her.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
then
a good
Paige
one.
said, "I said that, not you."
I did. I made that up.
I know, but that is a really good one that I made that up.
But I
as
made
well.
that up.
No, actually, I think I did. I mean, we use that joke all the time. Oyster, hardly know her.
Liquor, hardly know her.
We don't use the oyster joke all the time.
No, we use the hardly
great.
know her joke.
Duh. And
Okay.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, another one that we've had people write in about is they're like worst for date date stories.
date story.
Your worst for date stories. Do you have like
Do you have any like bad first
Like-
dates?
I mean, I went on a first date with this girl in college, and I was at her apartment. She was like making banana breads. She had this like knife and was just like chopping walnuts. And then she was like, "Oh, I just remembered I have to reschedule an appointment." And I was thinking like hair appointment or nails or something. And then she calls him. She's like, "Hey, instead of noon, can we do 4?" And they were like, "Yeah, we can do 4 instead of noon." And she's like, "Perfect." And I asked what the appointment was for. And she goes, "Oh, it was for TMS." And that was like vaguely familiar because like what I was going to school for, psychology. And I was like, doesn't that have something to do with magnets? And it's transcranial magnetic stimulation where they use magnets to reset the neurons in your brain. And she did not tell me why she was getting this done.
I have a lot of questions here.
But immediately I was like, I was just waiting for that knife to like stick to her forehead. But I was like, yo, I don't know what kind of like crazy this chick could be, but it turns out it's just for depression. And if she said that, then I would have been like more okay with it. But I was like, yo, I don't know why. It sounds like the human equivalent of turning it off and turning it back on again. Like, I was like, this is quite a thing to drop on me, you know?
Damn.
Can I just ask, what is your type?
Like I used to have like answers for that, but then I'll see like a girl like outside of my type that I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some girls with short hair that I like.
Okay, but do you think that, because I feel kind of similar sometimes where it's like there's guys that I've dated that they look nothing alike, but they all kind of have one quality about them. Like,
Yeah.
do you think, like, is there something that, like, the way a girl, like, carries herself, or, like, her sense of humor, like, I don't know, like,
The magnets in her brain.
the magnets in her brain.
So far,
You'd turn on the microwave and she'd piss her pants.
well, so far all the girls I've been with have said yes. That's the one thing that they have in common. In my experience, I kind of had a spectrum. The girl I lost my virginity to was black, and then like 2 Latinas, 2 white chicks.
So you just moved from San Diego to Austin.
Yeah.
But why did you choose Austin?
Well, I chose Austin because like a lot of comedy is moving here. Like Joe Rogan's opening up a club.
Who?
Joe Rogan.
Who's that?
Never heard of her.
One of the
Never
more
heard of her.
controversial figures. Regardless of what you think of him, $1 billion just moved to Austin.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's a lot of
I like Joe
industry.
Rogan.
Yeah, we know her.
I like him too.
Yeah.
You know him? Can you hook us up? Can we get? Can you help us get on his podcast?
I'm not
Can you
in
help-
like that.
can
We're
you-
not ready for Joe.
Can you help us get him as a guest?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in 5 years or so.
Nice.
I have a couple friends. My buddy Brian Simpson was on his podcast twice. He's personally paid a lot of my friends' bills.
It's really
Like
nice.
if you see him walking around, he has a fanny pack that's just filled with $100 bills that he just hands out as tips.
He loves comedians.
Think you
Yeah.
should tell
He
people
really
that. I guess he could kick anyone's ass. So that's okay.
He really
Yeah.
supports the comedy community. I love that.
Yeah,
too.
and like during the pandemic, like he was paying so many comedians rent, like while we were all out of work.
That's so cool.
So
See, Joe isn't bad, guys.
I like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but a lot of people like to hate on Joe Rogan just probably because he's like super popular and he's like a frat guy. I did go on a date with that guy, Meat Snack. I called him Meat Snack
because he asked her if she wanted a meat snack.
Yeah, and so
Like,
but we were talking about actual meat, not his meat.
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay,
No.
okay. I was like, yo, did this dude just call his dick
He was
meat
much
snack?
older than me.
Yeah, no, he definitely.
I think there's
It
some
was a
reading
double meaning.
between
Yeah.
a double entendre.
Yeah.
double
Anyways,
entendre.
so he was like, "What's your type? I bet you like big fratty guys." And I was like, "I mean, probably. Like, let's be honest."
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh yeah," and they probably like listen to Joe Rogan. And I was like, "You know what? This is unattractive. Like, you know, when girls talk shit about other girls on dates." This is like the equivalent of that being very unattractive.
This is unattractive. I'm only to go on 4 dates with you.
It was only 3, and finally I actually did send him a rejection text because, and I was about to ghost him, but we had to sit on the same side of the bench wherever we went, which is psycho behavior.
He wanted to.
Oh yeah, he had to hold me.
No, that's
Oh, I really don't understand.
that's a hard no for me.
Yeah, so that's when I had to realize I cut my ties with him.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me because like I waited tables for a while that like maybe it's just one of their ideas to sit on the same side of the bench.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
That like now that
It
you've
was
said
only
that,
his idea. And it was like, I was honestly probably out of his league because I was going through a breakup. So I was like blinded by the breakup. And I was like, anyone who likes me, I will go out with you.
yeah.
Well, one of my best friends, he's a gay man, and he was like, one day he's just looking at me and he was like, you know what? He was like, you're just like a bro that likes to drink beer and likes Joe Rogan. And he was like, you're like one of those toxic males. And I was like, you're not wrong.
You're a toxic male that went to therapy.
I'm a toxic male that went to therapy.
Yeah, because now you're like less toxic,
I'm like
but you're still a male.
But I'm still a male. I'm like, all right, I'll have a Miller Lite.
So the comedy scene is big in Austin.
Yeah.
What are some comics that we should look out for besides yourself?
My buddy Derek Poston, huge fan of his. He was just opening for Andrew Schultz on his Infamous tour. I got to be there when he like first got that gig. Andrew Schultz did 5 sold out shows at the LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio. I drove him there, got to hang out with Andrew Schultz, who's like the nicest guy ever. Like he saw that I was nervous.
Is he the redhead?
No.
Never mind.
You know, he's got dark hair.
Never mind.
But he's so funny. One of the most cultured people out there. Like that's how he like his audience is one of the most diverse. Like there was an audience member from Uganda, and he knows that there's like 2 tribes in Uganda that like people are from, and so like he'll like ask them. You know, he grew up in New York, like knows all this stuff.
We love that.
Oh, he's like one of the best. And so he did this like tour and brought my buddy Derek along, who I know from San Diego, and like that was like a big break for him. And because during the pandemic, he was like the only black dude living in Maine for a while because he had to move back in with his girlfriend's parents. So he lived in Bangalore, Maine for like a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Maine. I don't know Maine, but she sounds white.
Their slogan is "The way life should be."
I can't imagine moving back in with my parents, let alone like my girlfriend's parents.
I just got done living with their parents.
Yeah, like I said what I said.
It was awful.
I can't imagine moving back in with my parents.
I think that I would have a great time living with mom and dad.
Yeah, because you would love that they would do everything for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so but if you were nervous, right? Like if you were kind of like a more shy, like nervous kid, like what sparked your interest into like this is my passion and like I want to be a stand-up comedian? That's like a huge like turn of events.
So like I always kind of like had like stories and jokes in high school and stuff. And one day I had a buddy, his name was JJ, and he just asked me, "Hey, are you depressed?" And I was like, "Finally." I was like an emo kid in high school.
Same.
Stole my sister's straightener, had like long straightened hair and stuff. And And I was like, finally, like I've been like screaming for years. Like, how could you tell? And he goes, oh, I watched this like thing on TV. It said that most comedians are depressed, and like I always like had these like jokes and stuff. And that's like when I first put it together. So then I tried like a couple open mics, like 19 and 20, and then like when I turned 21, was allowed in the clubs. I was able to do it. Like in group settings, like if everybody was talking, I would just like be quiet. So I kind of saw it as like my turn to talk.
Yeah.
Like this is when I can speak. This is when I know how to jump in. And like, hey, here's the things that I think funny. Am I really that weird? Like, why are people like, why is my life shitty? You know, basically. And ever since then, I've been hooked.
So
More
the answer
props to
is
ya.
depression.
Yeah. It's how
I
it's how
heard
most of
We
it.
that is
love
a-
depression up in here.
We don't love depression, but
I mean, it's real.
I heard depression is great for comedy. So
Well, yeah. I mean, name somebody where everything's going great and they're hilarious. You know, there's nothing funny about having $1 million in your
That's why
bank.
you're not funny.
I'm like, me?
That's why you're
Yeah,
not
dude.
funny.
Everything's going great.
Seriously.
You know, I mean, if all your dating stories were good and happy endings,
Yeah.
how funny would
Happy
they-
endings.
Okay, well, have you ever had any chuckle fuckers?
They are definitely around.
You're like smiling, like
Yes, he has.
you're like, not me.
Tarr.
I'm a good boy.
Yeah, there was one. I guess you could say chuckle fucker. I'm gonna talk very carefully because she might listen to this afterwards.
Really? Because she follows you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're not.
Look,
It's a good
Okay,
thing.
first of all, we are not shaming any woman for having sex.
When the first time I saw Tony Hinchcliffe, I was like, I must have him.
And I thought the same thing too. And then I was like, we're going to have to fight for Tony.
And guess
Hinchcliffe.
what? He's not even available. So
yeah. So I had this girl told me that the only reason she had sex with me was just to see if she could.
Every girl.
How did
yeah.
that make you feel?
So you three
yes,
have
you-
confidence.
what do you?
I've been saying this on stage, and there'll be like maybe like one or two women most of the time that think that that's a dumb thing to wonder,
Yeah.
and the rest are like silent. And then I was talking to this other girl about it. She's like, "Yeah, that's because like a lot of women have like body issues and like confidence issues." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" It's just that, like most women aren't confident.
I have
so they're gonna
Well,
wonder.
I feel like the confidence comes in if I am not always like super secure with myself, but it's like if I'm not confident, I'm sure as hell not shooting my shot with somebody. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
I'm also like,
I'm only-
again, delusional, but I'm pretty sure I can have sex with like a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
if guys are just easy.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not that isn't gonna give me like a confidence boost. It's just
Yeah,
like,
that doesn't give me a confidence boost. That brings me down. I'm like, ugh.
It's like that makes me think poorly of that
Him.
person.
I
know.
think that if I'm shooting my shot with somebody, like that is when I have the most confidence in myself. I'm like, hey,
How do you
Great.
shoot your shot, Paige?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
She goes,
hold on.
"Hey," and then she's
Hey.
pointing, and then she can't think of anything else.
Hey, great set.
babe.
Great,
Hey,
great
babe.
set. I loved that joke you did. What are you doing later? I don't know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyways, if I'm saying anything, if I'm initiating the conversation, like I'm shooting my shot,
Yeah.
that's at my most confident. Like if I'm feeling like, yeah, well, he's obviously not going to go for me. I'm sure as hell not going to be like, hey, Tim's really good. You want to hang out later? Like, because I'm not feeling confident. And then you're going to be like, no, I'm busy. And then I'm hating myself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's
Doesn't sound like-
it's the confidence when you're shooting your shot. You're confident.
let's get back to Tad. Okay, so
Dad.
So how I found this out, she just started talking to me more, and I didn't pick up on that.
and you're like, she likes me.
But then she said one night, she said, "Hey, am I coming on too strong?" And I said, "What do you mean?"
So can we talk about your game? Because I think that's where there's an issue.
You got
Oh
none.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
1,000%.
Because I'm the resident flirt expert.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're at a bar and you're flirting with me, and
I mean,
I think he's not- I
that
think
already
he's-
wouldn't be happening.
I was going to say, I feel like he's not.
okay, so then
You're not his type, Jade.
And so, but basically, you being the flirt, you could go up to him at a bar and be like, "Oh my gosh, your muscles, they're huge.
I feel
And
like
he'd be
that
like,
was a great set.
and he'd be like, wow, like, she thinks I did well. She thinks my muscles are big. Thank you, bye. Like, over his head.
Is that what would happen?
I mean, I would try to see how long I could keep the conversation going.
Yeah,
but
he wouldn't say bye. He knows more than that. Don't discount him like that.
Well, I mean, she has 24,
Okay.
So there are definitely a
So
lot of
she
doubts.
asked you if she was coming on too strong.
Yeah, and I asked her what did she mean,
And then what did she reply?
Vagina pick.
No, because we were sitting right next to each other.
So she just spread her legs. Vagina IRL.
Within 20 minutes later, I was at her apartment.
20 minutes?
Yeah, this happened really fast.
Okay, so
Yeah.
once
So
you
you
are
go
in the
from
know,
0
you're
to
in the
60.
know.
Yeah, I mean, typically my speedometer is I'm along for the ride. Like I've been going on a date with somebody recently who's actually taken time to get to know me first before having sex with me. And like that threw me off. Like I asked her during the date, I was like, yeah, I think you just want to be friends with me. She was like, why? And I was like, well, I mean, you're not.
You're not.
You're not all over me like these other sluts that have been with. Where their speedometer is like 20, 30 minutes.
How'd you guys meet?
Same thing, comedy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Comedy, I feel like everyone just fucks each other.
There is definitely a lot of that going on. I do have a lot of Eskimo brothers.
I just feel like that's kind of in like
you should get into comedy.
I could never.
Oh, I mean, if you're
You
looking to
could.
have sex with the poorest people you've ever met.
As if we haven't already.
I mean, if you want to go to people who are like, hey, maybe I should live in my car to chase comedy.
Yeah. No, I just can't get into comedy. I would like
You
have
couldn't handle
so
the backlash. But
much-
you have the depression issues.
I have the depression for it. I just like don't have the ability to like stand up in front of a group of people and just like
Take a
talk.
bomb. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Jade, you do
We'd
it.
love to thank Tarr for coming here today and being on our podcast.
Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Venmo at the Tar Pit.
Venmo him
Ooh.
$150.
Please do it.
Yeah.
And then you can follow us at Your Poor Dad Pod, Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, and guys, when this episode comes out, it is my breakup anniversary, and we were gonna have this whole episode be talking about breakups, but you know what? Who needs to live in the past? You know, I don't need us. We will talk about those breakups at a later date, but like we don't need
But
to
still
have
write in with your breakup stories because we've been seeing them come in and we want to hear them.
You could send those breakup stories to yourpoordad@gmail.com. I read those.
Are we going to say bye? I feel like we're fighting.
I feel like you
The
guys
first
were
argument in
bragging
weeks.
about how you were just getting along so well.
And you know what, guys? Our no fighting streak has ended.
No, we're not fighting.
And here we
I just
are.
really have to pee. Can we wrap it
Yeah,
up?
we can all pee. Thank you guys so much for listening to Your Poor Dad. And thank you so much to Andrew Tarr for joining us today. And make sure you see where he's going to be at